So do you think racism still exists in America today?
Time does like heal some wounds, I guess you could say. And the next generation just would know less and less. But if you don't really know what caused it, I don't think it could just magically disappear. You'll be considered a black artist before you're just an artist. It's like if your work isn't obviously about being black, we're just not gonna put you in these shows, which is kind of like that is a form of racism. It's like we need you to be your race first before anything else.
Yeah, the trend kind of likes you guys to paint black people, actually.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's like the trend it's like a double-edged sword because it puts you in a box, and then you have to hope that they accept that box. Because if you're in a box, they can easily just remove the spotlight from that box, and now you're completely gone. Or if you're in the box, you can only do what they allow you to do. So my name is Daniel Jenkins. I'm an artist in Jersey City, New Jersey. I work only really right now in Sharpie. So these are black and white semi-abstract portraits. They're not all from life, but a good amount are from life. Then there's some from photographs of like famous jazz musicians and a few other ones.
Why do you use so much black?
So tell you a quick story about myself. So I went to art school, finished art school, and shortly after I actually had a brain tumor that was putting pressure on my optic nerves. So it was your optic nerves meet at your pituitary gland, and it was growing there, and it was damaging both my optic nerves, and I was actually going blind.
Damn.
So I had to get surgery, get it removed, and they weren't even sure if my optic nerves would recover. Luckily, they recovered rather fast too. So I took that as like a sign. Like basically, I went to school for this. I like doing it. I could have lost my vision completely. Therefore, I wouldn't be able to do it at all. So I said, all right, I'm gonna go all in and do one drawing a day for a full year. So first they were just regular pencil drawings in a sketchbook every day, like, realistic looking drawings. And then after 45 days of doing a drawing every day, I just wanted to challenge myself. So I picked up the Sharpie because you can't shade with a Sharpie, you can't show value. It's gonna force me to do something different. So I still want to show the figure or draw a person. So eventually I figured out a way to show shadow and form with just one line. And I like the minimalism of just one color, one line. So that's why I eventually started using a Sharpie, and that's why they started to look like that.
Oh, so it doesn't really tie to your identity.
No, so it doesn't, not necessarily the color, but basically anything I do is gonna be tied to my identity. So like, I guess some of the subject matter and some of the influences are tied to, my identity as a black person in America. Yeah. So yeah, a lot of these are famous jazz artists from a time that was, a lot more difficult to be an artist of color. So from like the 60s and 50s. So you'll see a lot of famous artists here.
What do you think about black artists painting like pure black figures? Like it's a trend almost.
It is a trend. So it's kind of a complex answer because we definitely want to get our ideas out there, but I'm a little bit personally against like trends in general. I feel like as an artist, if they set up a path for you, that's like a trap, if you say, okay, you can only do this, and then you do it. It's like, how creative is that? So if you naturally end up in that position, that's different than you wanting to do something else and saying, let me do this because that's what they expect of me. So I don't know if that answers it, but.
I just wonder why you choose to do it so figuratively instead of, it is very expressive, but you still keep a lot of form in it.
Yeah, so I went to a very small school, Ducre School of Art, but it was really traditional. So they kind of, you learn perspective, anatomy, all like the fundamentals, and anything expressive or abstract, they didn't cover at all. So that's kind of still like my core, I guess you could say, as an artist. So whenever I do something, even if it's expressive, I still want to, I guess, maybe show that I know I know what I'm doing in a sense. Like, you know, some artists, one of my favorite artists is Mark Rothko. But
What?
yeah, he's actually one of my favorites. And I was just telling the people before that were here, that's part of the reason I pick one color is I love how simple his stuff is, but grand almost. So like with just one color, you could do so much. But as I was saying with Rothko, you can, if you're not an artist, you could just look at it and you might say, how is this person has no skill or talent, you know? So I feel like almost subconsciously, I still want to show that I actually know what I'm doing. I'm not just completely winging it, you know?
Oh, it's so surprising that your favorite artist is Mark Rothko. Because I almost don't see, like from my perspective, I almost don't see any like influences of him on you. So
Oh,
it's an interesting relation. How did you like how do you view yourselves like relation with him?
so when I finished school, I was trying to be as realistic as possible in my art and like as skillful as possible. And he was the first artist that really basically challenged all those ideas. I mean, where I would look at it, and for a long time I was trying to figure out like, how is this accepted? Like, like what is, like, what do people see? What am I missing? You know? And then I kind of just did like a deep dive into his work and actually saw some people's like their takes on or critiques or whatever of his work, and them explaining basically what they got from it. And I started to just look at it from like a different perspective, and it basically changed the entire way I looked at art. I'm like, okay, it's almost the feeling is more important than like the skill in a sense. And if you could elicit a strong feeling, you can. It's more powerful than just being really technically good. I feel like I almost rather have the. I feel like you impact people subconsciously stronger with feeling than with technical skill, because technical skill is good, but it's only one half of like the equation. You know, I feel like there's something that's going on underneath of everybody, and if you could hit that, it's pretty powerful.
But you still kept your technical skill, even though
Yeah,
you think that.
and that might just be a little bit of I don't know if that's maybe ego or insecurity, but I do I do like the fact that people can recognize there's technical skill. You know, I don't know what I'll do in the future. I may move away from that, but I still want to show that I know what I'm doing.
So how did you figure out this style, and does it change? And do you plan to change it?
So I came to this style again when I was doing one drawing a day, but at first they were really abstract. Like when I really was into Rothko, they looked a lot crazier. And then I kind of critiqued them and honed it down to a way where I could still show that there is something going on. There is, you know, a hand and a trumpet, and there's things going on. So I just got it as abstract as possible, and then kind of like reeled it back in. So that's how I got to this point. I actually forgot the second part of the question you asked. Oh, do I plan to change? Yeah, I definitely have a bunch of other ideas in sketching and working on other things, but I feel just in the arts, you kind of have to, like Picasso had different periods, a blue period, a rose period. It's good to do work and then kind of evolve. So I feel like the evolution is coming, but right now I want to get these, seen as much as possible first.
You paint a lot of women.
Yeah, so there are quite a few here. And a lot of them are just people I know or other artists. For a while, I was working at a fashion studio, and it was like a fashion studio with like all like the Miss Americas and stuff would be there. Like the Miss America that Chesley Chris, she actually passed away, but she actually owned my artwork, and I met her working out of that studio. So for a while, I was doing that just because I was collaborating with the fashion photographer, and then I wanted to do portraits. So whoever's like willing to pose, I like to do that because you know, when you look at like the Mona Lisa and some of the like most famous pieces, it's a drawing from life, and it's like a regular person of that time period. But as time progresses, now the Mona Lisa is like important. At the time, you know, that might have just been someone he knew. But when you like zoom out, it's like a time capsule for that era. So I want to put this era in a time capsule with my style, if that makes sense. So, you know, like 100 years from now, they can look at whoever that is, and that's my version of doing a portrait.
Or it might disappear in 100 years. We
Yeah,
don't know.
it might disappear sooner than that. And actually, I won't be here to see it either way, but that's just my thinking, you know. So,
Interesting. Can you talk about some of the influences of artists?
so yeah, we were talking about Caravaggio is influential as well because I just like the way how like dynamic his lighting was, or
He paints much softer than you, though.
yeah, but and actually some of his I don't know, some of his stuff is very like thematic or theatrical in the sense where it's like a snapshot of like an action film almost. And the more I like looked up his story and stuff, he was kind of he was a rebel in like regular life. Like he was doing things that I think he was accused of killing someone or something. But
Nice.
he also was a rebel in terms of art, where I think he broke a lot of the rules where normally you would have like preparatory sketches and all different things before you go onto the canvas. From what I hear, that he didn't do any of that. Like he would just paint directly on the canvas. He would pick homeless people and just the people you were not supposed to pick for art, and would have them pose for like religious pieces and stuff. So he broke like a lot of rules, and I kind of like that aspect of him. So yeah, Rothko, Caravaggio. Yeah, there's a lot of influences like Van Gogh.
We all like Van Gogh.
Yeah, sad story, but he's I like his approach to art, where he kind of filtered reality through his like the way he saw it. I think that's pretty important for an artist.
So these pieces, I would assume, are pretty quick. Like it can be done in 1 or 2 days.
Yeah, at the most 2 days. I like to finish it in one day because
Yeah.
when I was doing oil paintings, like you know, paintings take, especially with different colors, and it takes a long time. And when I got into the abstract expressionist, it's more about the feeling. And I feel like if I'm working on an oil painting and I want to capture the anger, I might be angry today, work on it, and come back to it 2 weeks later and could be a completely different mood. And it's like you can no longer capture that mood once it's gone. So I like to finish it in one day. So if I start it in the morning, when I leave here at like 8 at night or something, it should be done by then.
Are you ever limited by your style? Because you kind of have like a very consistent style.
Yes, it's like a double-edged sword because it is limiting where you know you couldn't really do like a landscape. It's like you know it's not that much that it allows for, but that's also like a good thing too because sometimes I think the limitations, like even just picking up the Sharpie, it forced me to do something different. So I think a limitation can kind of actually expand whatever you do as well. So that's something I like about it.